want to build some tension in your tracks, then you should check out uplifting sequences, and I will show you in this video what makes or breaks this section. Okay, let me play only the uplifting acid sequence, and you will see two things. The first thing is that it completely lacks the energy which we had before. And the second thing which you will notice is that there are gaps, and those gaps are the gaps we fill later. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's like a note missing or something, but there are spaces where you really could feel there could go an element in, and that's what you need to train your awareness, I would say, if you want to make really good sections where everything combines into one sequence, that you get a feeling of where are the rhythmic positions where you can tap into and place the other elements. So check this out. It's maybe not a gap directly, but it's something where we can, there is like a little gap, and then we have this long note, but this really goes along. So check this out. They work so good together in that position, in my opinion. And the same goes for this element here. And this works, in my opinion, because this one goes up here. And this one kind of like answers, so it brings it down. That works really well. So point number one is really feel the rhythm. Try to leave some gaps on, or some spaces, let's say, where you could fit in other elements and then fill up those spaces with the other elements. So the second big point is the sound selection. So for example, what you want to reach with the section you're creating. So this section should have like an uplifting, energetic kind of feeling. And it's really important what kind of elements you put in there. For example, this one is a really powerful and strong element here. And that's good because we want to smash the party and get things going. You cannot put like some random Foley in there or a pad. That wouldn't work here, and it wouldn't really create the rhythm. So really think of what could go into that gap. And a good trick is, in my opinion, if you already know the rhythm, you could place some MIDI and just like select through your presets then, or you could open your presets and just play along with the presets. That's what I usually do when I want to find stuff. But it's really important that you have something which kind of takes the function there. And the same for the zaps here. As mentioned, the one thing goes up, this thing goes a little bit down. So I think it fits really well from the sound selection. So if we would, for example, take the same rhythm but swap the elements and have, let's say, this here and this here, then I think it will work. It's the same rhythm, but it's not the right element selected for the right rhythmic slot. And the third point which I want to make here is simplicity, because I find sometimes simple gives you more. And because we have very simple kind of like rhythms, we have very simple elements. So they're not like heavily modulated here. They're not changing like timbre with every shot completely. This works because we have really something to focus on. So for example, this one here, I do modulate the cutoff a little bit, but it's mainly stable, this element. And those two are kind of like upwards drive. Mainly this one, and this one a little bit. But not crazy. So it's kind of like everything is going along. I speed up the thing here a little bit. So by the way, if you're wondering what this channel is, it's more or less the same. So it's just doing this here. And here, this one is also stable again. It's not kind of like moving up with the same pitch. It's kind of like the pitch is moving up here a bit more, and then we're falling back to the other pitch here. So just to mention this, we could also use the bass or the drums for this. So it doesn't always need to be the FX or the leads, which kind of create this whole sequence. Sometimes it can be very interesting if you have a lead which plays along, and the bass, for example, like a bass glitch or like a bass sweep or glide kind of like fills the other part in the rhythm. So I have another remix where I did that, where the bass is basically kind of like the responding part to another sequence. But to sum this up, the three main points here are: first, you want to create like a sequence which leaves some gaps, and you want to fill that gaps with the other elements. Number two, it's really important how you select those elements, that you have contrast, but they also need to go along, and also the selection, what goes into which rhythmic positions. And if you don't have a feeling for that, what I use as a trick usually is I have, for example, Serum open and a MIDI keyboard, and I just go through the presets and just hit the same key until I find something which really works and kind of like glues into that. Tip number 3 here is go simple. So don't overcomplicate it. Don't make like a complex grid if you need simple in that moment. So sometimes simple is better. As you guys know, I often make tutorials on viewer requests. So put in the comments what you want to see next. Also let me know what your favorite techniques are to drive tracks upwards, or what your favorite tracks are which have sections which are really kind of like uplifting. Maybe you can look into that as well and find an interesting other technique which I can then extract for you and show you. And thanks for watching, and see you next time.